Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, December the 6th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. Tonight I'm going to be discussing two particular issues that have manifested themselves greatly on eBay in the year 2024. In future videos for the rest of this month, I'm going to continue to highlight two issues each week that I think have gotten way out of hand on eBay and the possible solutions to those issues. Tonight's issues will be number one, buyers trying to get partial refunds. Number two, buyers opening unfair chargebacks only days after receiving the item and circumventing the eBay return process. In addition, tonight I'm going to be talking about what happens when you get someone trying to return something past your 30-day return window. I'm also going to be talking about cancellations. I had numerous ones this week. I'm going to highlight a few for you that I think you're going to enjoy. So that being said, let's get right into it and let's talk about the increase, the unbelievable increase in buyers sniffing around for partial refunds. So, as a seller on eBay in the year 2024, how many of you have received a message from a buyer very similar to what I'm about to say? Hello, I just received your item and I have to tell you I'm very, very disappointed. This is the most disappointed I have ever been in buying anything online. I took a look at your pictures and the item looked really nice. But when I got the item here, it doesn't look that good. I think your pictures are very deceptive. I also noticed a small mark, 1 centimeter in length, that you didn't mention in the listing. I gotta be honest with you. I'm dissatisfied with the item. And it's bothering me so much that I can't sleep at night and I can't satisfy my wife. Well, okay, maybe I went a little overboard in the last one, but you get the picture. Now, how many of you guys have received a message that's a paragraph long this year talking about something and saying basically absolutely nothing, just like that? I know I have. So, let me point out to you, which you probably know already, that any eBay buyer can open a return for any reason whatsoever, even if you do not accept returns. The buyer is free to claim anything he wants willy-nilly. He can make up an excuse, he can lie, he can cheat. Anything goes on eBay. It's the Wild West. There are no checks and balances. So that being said, doesn't it seem strange to you that the buyer didn't avail himself of all these buyer protections I've just mentioned, but instead wants to write a paragraph, a soliloquy as to why he's unhappy with your item? Well, obviously, he really doesn't want to return it. Obviously, he wants a partial refund. So what I do when I get these guys, and I do get them, is I respond to them and I basically explain the facts of life. I say something like this: hello, I just read your paragraph and I must tell you it was exceptionally interesting. I have two things I'd like to tell you. Number one, I have good news. I accept returns for 30 days for any reason whatsoever. You have nothing to worry about. Just open a return within 30 days and I'll be more than happy to give you a refund upon receipt of the item, which, by the way, was described exactly as pictured. But before you do that, I have a question for you. And I'm really going to need an answer on this. Considering that the listing says I will accept returns for 30 days for any reason in the world, instead of spending 2 seconds and clicking return this item, why did you invest 15 minutes with that whole long story? I mean, mind you, it was very, very interesting, but I'm just curious. Now, what happens next? I would say 75% of the people within 1 minute will immediately open the return request because they see that I'm not screwing around with them. They see there's no chance of them milking me for a partial refund, and they realize they've been called out. So either they've got to send it back to get their full money back, or they can keep it. And usually, like I said, 75% will send it back. 25% will also realize I'm not screwing with them, but will keep the item and just fade into oblivion. Okay? That I've noticed a big increase in myself, a very big increase. To the point that I've seen buyers say something like, "Why don't you just give me a partial refund?" I do this all the time on eBay, and all the sellers I ever asked for a partial refund always caved in and gave it to me. And there you go. There you have it. By caving in and giving in, you're creating a bully. In a related situation, let's talk about unfair chargebacks that are opened outside the eBay platform with the person's credit card company. So if you sell somebody something and they get it, and let's say they're not satisfied, arrived broken, not as described, mishigots, whatever, all they have to do is click return this item, send it back, lie about the reason, say wrong item sent, not as described, and they'll get all their money back. I mean, after all, it's eBay. There's no checks and balances, right? But they don't. Given all the protections they have, they circumvent that and they file a chargeback. Why? Because they know, most likely they've done this before, 99% chance the credit card company will side with them. They'll be allowed to keep the money and the item, both. They get their money back, they're allowed to keep the item, they don't send it back. It's a win-win for the scammer. Now, as far as the seller is concerned, eBay usually will step in because of our seller protection that shows we sent the item to the person, and they will cover us. This has been going on more and more this year. Thankfully, not so much with me, but I can tell you that I had first-hand experience with eBay giving back money to buyers, full money, who lie like rugs about the reason for the return and incriminate themselves. I've showed you screenshots this whole year on and off about it. Think about how much money eBay has lost this year with fraudulent buyers, whether it be a fraudulent return, whether it be the credit card scam, whatever. I have a perfect way to stop the credit card scam. It's foolproof. Okay? Any buyer that files an unwarranted chargeback within the first 30 days, instead of going through the eBay return program, should automatically be banned from the platform, no questions asked. I've been on eBay for 25 years. I have never done a chargeback in my life. And I'm willing to bet most of you guys haven't either, because you're good, honest people. But there are scammers out there, and they need to be addressed. And up till this point, that's not happened. So yeah, those are the two topics of the week that I have found increased greatly in the year 2024 on eBay. What I would like you guys to do, if you have any topics that you think have increased greatly, any problems, put them in the comment section, and maybe I will pick one of your choices for next week's selection. Remember, we only have 3 or 4 weeks to the end of the year, and I'm going to be concentrating on 2 every Friday night. Now let's talk about returns past the 30-day return window. In the year 2024, how many of you guys have had people try and return things after your 30-day return window? Okay. A decent amount of you guys. Now, how many did you have this year, would you say? If you had to take a guess. I had 3. Question for you guys. 3 people this year contacted me past my 30-day return date wanting to return the item. To jog your memory as to what they were, one guy from Canada had bought a single caddy wire wheel for around $40, and the guy thought he was getting all 4 for that amount. The second guy bought a set of Ford hubcaps from me, waited $45 days, only to realize they were the wrong size. And the third guy was also a wrong size, doesn't fit. Out of those 3 attempted returns, I rejected every one of them. I'm not playing games, all right? eBay makes us play by the rules. I get that. Customers have to play by the rules too. The return says 30 days. It's 30 days, guy. It ain't 40. It ain't 35. It's 30. Now, question. Out of the 3 people who attempted to return things past my date that I refused, how many of them left me negative feedback? Think about that while I take a drink. Okay? Yep. I know it was an easy question. It was a softball question. Out of the 3 people who attempted a late return, all 3 of them left me negative feedback in 2024. 2 of them I got removed right away because they were cut and dry. The guy with the Ford called me a scammer. Yet eBay could see in the notation he admitted he purchased the wrong size. The only one that they would not remove was the guy who purchased 1 item and thought he was getting all 4. And I thought that was stupid because first I tried the automated link, which we all know doesn't work. But you must try that first before you can go to square 2, which is contacting Concierge. I showed Concierge that he clearly admitted he thought he was getting 4, not just 1. They would not remove that comment because they said it was the buyer's opinion and he's entitled to his opinion. I tried for months to get rid of that. I carried that for like 2 months. Through a freak of nature, what good luck cute Joey has. I told you about this, so don't act surprised unless you haven't been watching my videos. A team from the eBay feedback department in California flew out here to New York City, and I was lucky enough to be invited to a think tank with them. And we talked about feedback and this and that, and I showed the lady, who was an executive, a higher up, with feedback, the feedback in question, and she said, I'll look into this for you. It was gone within 1 day because, number 1, she has juice to do it. Number 2, she has common sense. Number 3, it was the right thing to do. How do we fix this problem? Very easy. The concierge representatives should have more latitude to use this common sense when removing unfair negative feedbacks. It's better now than it was earlier this year. So it has improved, but it's still not quite where it should be. So that's the situation there. Next topic I want to talk about is cancellations. I probably should have waited on this and included it in one of the topics that's really blossomed for the year 2024. However, I need to talk about it tonight because of what happened, which I will make clear to you in a few minutes. I had several interesting cancellations this week. My policy on cancellations, which I've told to you guys about 150 times, I will tell once again. Every one of my listings clearly says, I will not accept cancellations under any conditions, so do all price shipping first. It's to the point that eBay itself has admitted there's a problem and has said that if a buyer leaves us negative feedback because we will not cancel, eBay will remove the feedback because the buyer, when buying our item, is entering into a binding contract, okay? Now this is where you guys, you sellers, need to grow a pair. And I'll be the first one to come out and tell you, I know some of you don't have it, all right? You don't. Many of you do. And you guys that have a pair are to be respected. So, as far as my cancellation policy is concerned, even though I have it clearly stated on my listings, I will not accept any cancellations, I will accept them so long as I have not printed the label and boxed the item. I don't care if it's 2 minutes after the sale or if it's 3 hours. As long as I haven't done any work, no problem, I will accept the cancellation. With one stipulation. For example, I had one on Wednesday night where a guy made a purchase, paid right away, immediately wants to cancel. And his reason was, found a better price. I totally believe him. I believe that eBay showed him the same item from another seller cheaper after he purchased mine and was satisfied. Keep in mind, I'm paying, 5 or 6% promoted listings fees to have him see my item, only to have eBay step in and stick it to me. They stole the sale from me and gave it to someone else. Guy's probably not even paying promoted listings. So, what goes around comes around. I will accept the cancellation. But I wait anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. There's a moratorium. Everybody's got to feed the kitty, okay? Everybody needs to act like a responsible adult. I checked into this guy's buyer account. He joined eBay in September 2021 and didn't buy a single thing until December 2024, when he bought my item, which he immediately wanted to cancel. So after 48 hours, I think that's long enough. I'll give him his money back. And he can buy from the other seller that eBay bait and switched him with. What they do is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And we shouldn't have to deal with this. Now, if I had already printed the label, even if it was in my car, boxed up in my car, it's going. It's going. If the guy wants to pay to send it back, I'll take it back. I'll give him his money back. He's paying. Again, man up, act like an adult, and learn a lesson. And you'll say, well, Joe, suppose he tried to return it saying not as described or wrong item sent. Good question. I would simply show the eBay representative that he tried to cancel after the thing had been shipped. And I think I'd be covered. I'm fairly certain of that. So yeah. Now, as far as not canceling, that's only after the label has been printed and uploaded. Okay? I will not cancel. I've seen some people on Facebook. I swear this is true. You're not going to believe it. You want to talk about weaklings? You want to talk about jellyfish, marshmallows? They will print the label, box the item, bring it to the post office, have it scanned, go home, start doing other things. Then the buyer will say, hey, I changed my mind, I want to cancel. These people will get up, get in their car, vroom, and drive out to the post office and try and get the box back. I've seen people say this. I won't do it. I'll work hard to make money. I ain't working hard to give it back. They want to return it on them? That's their business, okay? Totally on them. Now, let me talk about a second cancellation I had, which was on Thursday. This one is super interesting. This is going to be a show and tell one. This is good. You're going to like this. A person sends me a best offer on 4 of these painted silver Ford center caps. eBay said I'd be paid right away. I accepted the offer and I was paid. But I was very worried. What the cap that I just showed you is what's known as the dog item. It's not a good seller, so I don't mind going cheaper on the price. I don't mind at all, providing people know what they're doing, which unfortunately in eBay Motors they don't. So, what happens? Box the item up, print the label. I haven't taken it yet. It's in the box. What is the worst possible thing that a buyer could do to me at that moment? Take a minute and think about it while I take a swig. Worst possible thing. Cancellation? No. I expect that to happen. Maybe a love note through eBay messages saying they want to cancel. That's not good, but it's not the worst possible thing. The worst possible thing is she called me, took the sale right off eBay, and calls me on the phone. I couldn't make this up. So the conversation started out okay. She said that she was the person who just bought these caps and that she also needs the wheel. The wheel that these go on. I told her I didn't have it, but I was a little concerned. Okay, I was very concerned. I said to her, why don't you text me a picture of your wheel? Then I can tell you exactly what you need. But really, the truth, come close. I wanted to see what wheel she had because here is the actual listing that I had on eBay. All right. You can see I've got the caps listed with a picture of the wheel. This is the wheel itself. The only wheel. The only single solitary wheel that this cap was used on. With, if you look at the title, the part number is right there. See the part number? That's the part number. And of course, all my customers are totally blind and they don't look at anything. So she sends me a picture of her wheel, which I will show you now. She sends me this. Look, that's not a painted silver wheel. That's a shiny chrome wheel. These caps physically will not fit. So I said to her, listen, that is not... Number one, I said, the caps you bought are not going to fit that wheel. All right? I'm communicating with her now using the app. So I'm sending her pictures of the wheel that she should have and she doesn't to make it clear to her. So anyway, she finally understands that she made a mistake and she wants to cancel. I said, well, you took the transaction off eBay. I said, you got to get back on eBay, contact me through the messages and say you want to cancel. Then I will. This is one of those times when I really wanted to cancel. I was, yeah, cancel. So she wrote me the note, I bought the wrong size, I want to cancel. And I canceled it. Even though I had already printed the label and it was in the box right here. I knew this was going to be trouble. So it was easy for me to take care of. But had I shipped it, there's absolutely no way I would do a package intercept or try and go there and act like an idiot trying to get my box back. I don't play that. Then I did something that you may think is uncharacteristic of me. Now, I left that one little part. I better go back and tell you that. When we were talking on the telephone, she was telling me that it's not even her vehicle. It's her son's Ford Explorer. So I said to her, I said, listen, not for nothing. I said, but you really shouldn't even be doing this. I said, younger people are a lot better on the internet than middle-aged people. And I'll be the first to admit that. Okay? That's what they're good at. They grew up with it. I said to her, why aren't you letting him handle his own deal? I don't get this. I said, this is so prevalent in today's society where you got middle-aged people doing all the work while the younger people, they sit back and enjoy themselves. Anybody watching this video that's my age or even close, either way, I don't care. I'm sure when you were 18, 19, 20, you were self-sufficient. If you had a problem with your car, you took care of it. You would never ask. Never. I mean, just the concept of it concerns me. I always took care of my own stuff. All right? So I explained that to the woman. And I said to her, look, I can see you really don't know what you're doing. I get it. I said, I have a few minutes now. I'm on the app. I said, I'm going to search for the correct caps and the correct chrome wheel. She needed some caps. I don't know if she needed 1 or 4. She wasn't clear on that. So I found another seller who was selling 4 of the center caps at chrome, which are larger than mine. So I sent her the link to that. And I found the wheel, the chrome wheel I just showed you. Here, I'll show you again. And if you're real smart, you'll know that she actually followed my advice and bought this. Because if you look at top, this item is no longer available. So I made the sale for this guy right here. Cute Joey, very cute Joey, actually helped this eBay seller make a $100 sale on a chrome wheel for the Ford. So yeah, she was happy. And that was that. My complaint is not that she made the mistake. I get that. There's just too many people doing things that they don't have the ability or capability to do. I know my role. I will never touch plumbing or the electric work in the house. I'll burn the freaking place down. Any problems? Hey, let me tell you something. 2 things. Number 1, I got this. This is a phone. Number 2, I've been working every day since I was 16 years old. I've never filed for unemployment in my life. One thing I've been good at is making money. I can afford a plumber. Don't worry about that. I can afford an electrician. All right? That's what they're there for. So anyway, yeah. I was able to help her out. That deal went smoothly. And yeah. As I've said in previous videos, I'm not trying to scare you guys. In fact, just the opposite. Most of you guys sell in what I call eBay core, which is your collectibles, your sports cards, sneakers, books, Michigats, that kind of stuff. You guys will skate like Tanya Harding, worry-free. Now, you guys who sell in motors like me, you're screwed. I'm not pulling any punches. Right now, things are not doing so good. There are too many problems, too many fraudulent returns. You'll still make money. Don't get me wrong. Even you motor sellers will make money. But you're going to have a lot of aggravation. Which is why I am a person that's pushing for change in eBay Motors, especially with the return system. There needs to be checks and balances on returns, and right now there isn't. It's been this way for years. But early on, people weren't taking advantage of it like they are now because the word is out that buyers have carte blanche. Anyway, I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. And above all, enjoyable. If you didn't find it enjoyable, I feel maybe I failed my task. I try and make the videos a little bit lighthearted, and I interject a little sarcasm and a little levity where it's needed. So yeah, sales this week were once again slower than usual. I see no improvement on the horizon until at least the beginning of January. Hope you guys make a lot of money on eBay this week. Rock on and peace.